Hey, everybody, this is Matt Mayoka at NBC Sports Bay Area. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe and like, comment, all the above. Turn on your notifications as we grow this thing out. And this video is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery. It's a brewery, a restaurant, beer garden, all in the family-friendly atmosphere in Moraga. In fact, after I get out of here on this Friday, beat traffic going home, I'm going to Canyon Club this evening. So I don't know how long I'll be there, but I'll certainly pop in and pick up some supplies and head on out. So if you stop by, who knows, you might see me at Canyon Club Brewery. Also coming soon to the Livery in Danville. So have great locations in the East Bay in Moraga and in Danville. So that location in the Livery in Danville should be opening here sometime fairly shortly. So keep an eye out for that. Should be a great spot to hang out. Okay, as the 49ers head into this crucial Week 11 game against the Seattle Seahawks, some injury news to bring you up on. Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter, is going to be out for a while. He has a back condition. Right now, nothing is scheduled as far as any kind of procedure on his back, but Kyle Shanahan said on Friday that Wishnowsky will be heading to injured reserve. And so that will open up the roster spot for Yetur Gross-Matos, who is currently on injured reserve. He's a defensive lineman. He's had a full week of practice, so he'll be elevated, activated to the 53-man roster, taking the spot of Mitch Wishnowsky. So Gross-Matos is listed as questionable, but that's kind of only like a formality as the 49ers get him ready to go. He'll be in uniform on Sunday. Other players listed as out for this game: Kevin Givens with the groin. That's be his third game in a row that he's missed, as well as Charvarius Ward out again, taking the personal leave as he mourns the death of his nearly 2-year-old daughter. So our hearts still go out to Charvarius Ward, who at some point, maybe this coming week, will be back reporting to the team and assuming his spot on the roster. So Charvarius Ward out for this game as well. A list of guys who are questionable for this game. Well, first off, Darrell Luter has a pelvis injury. He's doubtful, so don't expect him to play in that role. Potentially, I guess the 49ers could elevate Nick McLeod from the practice squad in order to serve a role on special teams. The 49ers just signed the former New York Giant defensive back, so we'll see if he has a role in this game on Sunday. Players listed as questionable, and I think they all will play, but I say that kind of not knowing for sure, of course. But Nick Bosa is questionable with his hip injury. George Kittle questionable with the hamstring. Both of those guys were on the practice squad, so that's why I'm kind of led to believe that they will play in this game on Sunday. Trent Williams is questionable with an ankle injury. John Feliciano is questionable. He remains on injured reserve. I don't think they're going to bring him up for this game, but we shall see. And then Aaron Banks, a new addition to the injury list, has a thigh condition. One other note is that Brandon Ayuk underwent surgery to repair the torn ACL earlier this week. So that clock starts rolling as far as the physical therapy and the rehab to get him ready to go for the 2025 season. All that's to be determined, whether he's able to make it for the opening bell for the first game of the regular season in 2025. But 49ers are hopeful that everything will turn out okay on that end. I did my 5 to watch. As far as every week, I do this 5 to watch players coming in to the upcoming game. And because of the receivers that the Seattle Seahawks have, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, I did have Renardo Green and Diamador Lenore on that list. Also Christian McCaffrey, as he kind of works more into the role of stepping back on the field and getting acclimated and getting back in the groove, as he says. He's certainly one to watch. Faced a lot of stacked boxes in that game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, probably more of the same. I listed Jake Moody, the kicker, who needs to get back and get some positivity going in his direction. He had done pretty well up until Sunday against Tampa Bay, making 23 of his last 25 field goal attempts in the regular season, but of course struggled big time against Tampa and missing 3 field goals. But he did hit the one that mattered, that 44-yarder as time expired. And then the other player, of course, Brock Purdy. He's 5-0 against the Seattle Seahawks. So there's really no room for error now for the 49ers, especially for a division game. So Brock Purdy had a big game against Seattle earlier in the season. They're going to need another strong game for him on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. And going back to Mitch Wishnowsky, the 49ers did sign a punter earlier in the week. So it is going to be the Pat O'Donnell show on Sunday as the 49ers face the Seattle Seahawks. And it's going to be O'Donnell for the foreseeable future, as long as he does a good job in keeping this thing together for the 49ers. They did have Presley Harvin, on the team during training camp. Remember, Wishnowsky has been bothered by this back condition for quite some time, and Harvin handled the punting chores in the preseason, but instead they bring in Pat O'Donnell to fill that spot. And let's face it, we had seen Wishnowsky, basically having the worst year of his career. His punting average is way, way down, and the punting average I look at is net punting. Quick story: back in the day when I was doing this, I was a younger man. The 49ers had a special teams coordinator, very well respected man by the name of Bruce DeHaven, the late great Bruce DeHaven. He passed away a few years back, but he would always pull me and Cam Inman aside whenever we'd do our grades or whatever on the team. We'd talk about the gross punting average, and he would always say, "It's not gross punting that matters; it's net punting." And the reason for that is it kind of lends itself to the directional punting aspect of it, the hang time to allow the coverage team to get down there. And frankly, if a guy's punting at 50 yards every time, but there's no hang time and he's just driving it down the field and the return man is returning it 20 yards every time, that's a net 30. And net 30 isn't very good. A gross 50 is completely irrelevant if the net is low. So this year, Wishnowsky's net punting average was all the way down to 36.3 yards per kick, and that was down from 42.7 last year. So Wishnowsky not having a good season, but there's a reason for that, this back condition that he's had. So that is the quick update from Santa Clara as the 49ers get ready to face the Seattle Seahawks. And it's a huge game, obviously, for the 49ers as they head into this Week 11 matchup with a 5-4 record. Arizona is atop the division with a 6-4 record. Arizona does not play this week, so the 49ers have a chance to move into a virtual tie with the Cardinals with 7 games remaining. But first, they got to take care of business against the Seahawks. Thanks so much for watching, and that is it for now.